When I was younger, my parents gave me a book named Jesus Freaks. It's this book consisting of all these stories of persecuted Christians from all over the world. I remember reading it and being stunned by what I read. I never imagined that one day I would witness such a story.
For a Christian family living in a majority Muslim country, religious persecution is common. Pakistan's blasphemy laws allow for the death sentence or the life imprisonment of anyone who says or does anything against Islam, whether it is intentional or unintentional.
Do we really know what it means to stand up for Christ?
My uncle was 18 years old when he first faced religious discrimination. He tried to hold prayer meetings through the school by putting up flyers, just as the Muslim students did. His flyers were always torn down, and he was forbidden by the principal to hold Christian prayer meetings. The next day, he put up a flyer saying, "Until the very last drop of my blood, I will keep fighting for Christ and his people."
My family was always worried about his life. They would constantly tell him to be careful, but he knew what it meant to take up his cross.
All of his life revolved around being the voice for the voiceless and bringing hope to the lives of the hopeless.
In all our conversations, he would ask me what I was doing for the persecuted church and what I was doing to help our brothers and sisters who are suffering.
Sometimes we get so selfish, we forget that this life isn't about us.
The last time I saw him, my mom and dad begged him not to go back. If he stayed, the Canadian government was ready to provide him with all resources that were necessary for him to work for the persecuted Christians of Pakistan while ensuring his safety. He refused. He said, "If I leave, who will be the voice of the voiceless people of Pakistan? Who will fight for them? I don't want them to think that I left them alone." About 3 weeks after I saw him, he was assassinated.
It was a typical morning. He was leaving for work in his car when 4 men gunned him down.
Before he left for work that morning, he asked his mom, my grandmother, to make sure she was safe and kept herself warm. He kept doing something very unusual. He would keep turning back from the door and keep asking my grandmother to make sure she was safe. My grandmother started laughing and teasing him that he was a little baby, even though he was so grown up now.
A few minutes after he left the house, there was a sound of loud gunshots, and my cousin, who was with my grandmother at that time, ran outside to tell him not to go. But as she got there, she found his car flooded with bullets.
That day, I lost my brother.
He was my youngest brother. It is hard to say that I lost him.
He always knew that one day he would die a martyr. In fact, this is what he wanted. He didn't want to die of old age or sickness. He wanted to die for Christ.
The night I heard about his assassination, Matthew 16:24 came to my mind. This verse talks about, if anybody wants to be the disciple of Christ, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow Christ. And whoever wants to save their life will lose it. And whoever wants to lose their life for Christ will find it. That night I understood what it means to take up your cross and follow Christ. I had seen a man who had just done that.
In Revelation chapter 2, verse 10, it says, "Remain faithful until the point of death, and I will give you the crown that is life itself."
His life may have ended then, but his love for Christ still inspires. And these are the type of things that pull me back to reality.
The reality of a selfless world.
The reality where life has greater meaning when lived without greed.
A life lived in sacrifice of oneself.
Because the sacrifice is worth the reward.
We go after things like money, relationships, and stature, and things that we think will make us happy and comfortable. But how willing are we to turn to the things of God?